Santipa, the academic. Just as a child nourished by its mother grows into the strength of adulthood, so an immature mind nourished by the Guru's precepts grows into the bliss of the Mahayana. Just as a disease is cured by the doctor's medicines, so the malaise caused by belief in I and mine is cured instantly by the Guru's instruction. When King Devapala ruled Magadha, the monk Santipa, a renowned preceptor also known as Ratnakara Santi, who was by birth a Brahmin, became celebrated as a teacher of the 5 arts and sciences at the famed monastic academy of Vikramashila. His fame spread as far as Sri Lanka, where King Kapina, a man of virtue and merit, had become interested in the Buddha's doctrine. Hungry to learn more, the king and his court decided the great sage Santipa must become their guru. This was how a royal messenger bearing gifts of great worth happened to arrive at the gates of the monastery. Prostrating himself before the great teacher, he spoke in the words of the king. I bring you gold and silver, pearls and fine silks, carvings of teak and ivory, spices and rare herbs. These are but a small token of the profound respect in which you are held by King Kapina and all the people of Sri Lanka. Take pity on us, great sage. We are but barbarians who live in darkness and ignorance, consumed by the fires of lust and greed, tortured by the weapons of anger and hatred. Come to us, spread the liberating message of the Mahayana, the great approach to Buddhahood, for we know it not. Come to the island of Sri Lanka for the sake of its people. After some reflection, Santipa decided it was his duty to go. He took sail with an entourage of 2,000 monks and innumerable oxen and horses loaded with the Tripitaka, the 3 baskets of scripture. When the people of Sri Lanka learned of their imminent arrival, they were as happy as bodhisattvas on the first level of the tenfold path. One by one they left their work to gather on the beach. At the sight of the first sail, their hearts leaped with joy. When the boats crowded with canopies and oxen appeared over the horizon, they were ecstatic. They spread the ground with silk for the great preceptor to walk upon, and all bowed low in homage as he stepped foot upon their land. He was surrounded with clouds of rare incense, and flowers were heaped upon him and his party. The king's servants hurried to fulfill his every need. The great teacher remained in Sri Lanka for 3 years, imparting the many doctrines and techniques of the Tripitaka to the king, his court, and his people. Santipa's leaving was as splendid as his arrival. The grateful monarch gave him thousands of horses and oxen, as well as precious artifacts of gold and silver, and the darkest of coral that came only from great depths in the sea. On the return voyage, the sage decided to take the longer route home. After the ocean crossing, the party journeyed through the kingdom of Rameswaram, where King Ramana had built a great temple to Mahadeva in gratitude for the recovery of his wife from Lankapuri in Sri Lanka. Finally, all that lay between them and home was a 7-day journey across a barren plateau surrounded by forbidding mountains. It was on the 4th day of this trek that Santipa encountered Kotalipa, a peasant who became his disciple and whose story is recounted later in this book. After the return to the monastery, life soon returned to normal. Santipa resumed his studies and teaching. Time passed, and Santipa began to grow old and infirm. His students took to driving him around in a buffalo cart, and they fed him upon sweetmeats and other soft foods because he had lost his teeth. When he reached his 100th birthday, he retired from active life and began a 12-year period of contemplation. However, during those same 12 years, on the barren plain Santipa had traversed on his return from Sri Lanka, the peasant Kotalipa was also in retreat. While Santipa was practicing discursive contemplation, Kotalipa was absorbed in the essential nature of reality, and his non-discursive, thought-free meditation led directly to Mahamudra Siddhi. In time, Santipa returned from his retreat and was much acclaimed by his students. When Kotalipa attained Mahamudra Siddhi, Indra, lord of the gods, came to celebrate. Surrounded by numerous Dakinis and his divine entourage, the great god poured ambrosia into the gate of purity, the crown chakra, on top of Kotalipa's head. This infused the yogin with complete contentment. The Dakinis cried, "This is the real Vajrasattva," and Kotalipa blessed them, which filled them with divine happiness. Throughout the festivities, Kotalipa kept insisting, "It was my guru's instruction that helped me attain Siddhi. I was plowing the mountainside, but he taught me to plow the mind." Indra and his hosts invited Kotalipa to enter the 33 sensual paradises, but the yogin could think only of his guru. He refused, saying, "Is not my guru a source of greater grace than the Buddha? Is it not written in the scriptures, 'The guru is the Buddha, the guru is the Dharma, the guru is the community. The guru embodies the 3 jewels, and I crave his sacred blessings.'" In his invisible awareness body, Kotalipa transported himself into the presence of Santipa and prostrated himself before the great guru and his entourage. But no one could see him, not even his teacher. So he materialized his physical body and repeated his homage. "Who are you?" asked Santipa, startled. "I am your disciple," replied Kotalipa with humble adoration. Santipa sighed and said, "I'm afraid there have been so many of them that I can't remember them all." "Don't you remember the peasant you found plowing the mountainside?" asked Kotalipa. Santipa smiled, for now he recalled the very incident. "What results have you obtained from your meditation?" he asked kindly. "Following your instructions brought me Mahamudra Siddhi and the existential mode of pure awareness and emptiness, the Dharmakaya," replied Kotalipa. Whereupon a great awareness dawned on Santipa. He realized that during all those years of teaching, he had neglected true spiritual discipline. "I have a confession to make," he said to his pupil. "I have never experienced the perfect reality that I teach. I have even forgotten the instructions I gave you." He asked his student to demonstrate the results of his meditation. Thus, it was that student became teacher and teacher became student. Kotalipa took Santipa to a solitary retreat and revealed to him the many qualities of the Dharmakaya, thus returning the gift of instruction. Santipa spent another 12 years in meditation, and then, at long last, he attained Mahamudra Siddhi, With the attainment of true bliss, he realized that all his book learning and all the honors and gifts heaped up on him were hollow and trivial by compare. The years remaining to him he spent in faithful service to others. In the end, he too gained the paradise of the Dakinis. Nimodele zendele, nime gungyandele shin, ninsendadu delebe, konjo somgi jingilo, konjo somgi ngadrupso, konjo somgi tashisho. At dawn or dusk, at night or midday, may the three jewels grant us their blessings. May they help us to achieve all realizations and sprinkle the path of our lives with various signs of auspiciousness.